In the heart of Atlanta, a movement thrives. A movement dedicated to transforming lives through the compassionate and unwavering spirit of missionary work. This is the story of Regnum Christi Atlanta, where individuals from all walks of life come together, united with the local church to reveal Christ's love, form apostles, and build the kingdom of Christ on earth. What does it mean to live with a missionary heart? Regnum Christi is a spiritual family on mission, and these are the voices of those whose lives have been transformed.
So lives are changed when you have a missionary heart, and I see that every day with Catholic World Mission, and I see that every day with our work with the Legionaries. One of the great things about Regnum Christi is that the Regnum Christi family answers Christ's call each day to have that missionary heart, to live the faith with a ton of courage, and to help folks in need. And I've just been inspired anytime I meet a legionary, a consecrated woman, or a lay member of Regnum Christi, how inspiring they are when it comes to living the faith with courage and conviction.
My name is Tanner. I joined the Catholic Church back when I was like 15 years old. My neighbors up the street actually invited me to Mass for the first time, just off the blue, right? Never been baptized, never was confirmed or had communion or really had any flavor for the church at all. And so they invited me. Sure enough, I went. Didn't hurt that their daughter was cute, but I ended up going with them. Started to realize that I was missing something, right? There was something special that was inside that church. Just through invitation, time and time again, coming back to Mass with them, going to youth groups, and then actually one of the Consecrated at the time invited me down to do homeless missions in downtown Atlanta. I knew that there was a love here that I really had never experienced.
I went on this retreat that was being hosted by the Legionaries of Christ with other Regnum Christi members, had no idea what it was about, came out of the retreat wanting to study Catholicism and examine my current Protestant faith, and was Catholic 18 months later. And so this was an integral step, an unexpected but glorious integral step in this development of the idea of this apostolate that I would start called Heritage, because it's located at the site of the oldest Catholic settlement in Georgia. And the way we've developed it, we've leaned into the church's tradition of art and beauty and prayer. And so that whole experience at the Legionaries of Christ retreat was absolutely necessary in my life first, before I could hear the call on getting the retreat center built and before I had the time actually to get it done.
The Legionaries of Christ and the Consecrated Women of Regnum Christi have impacted my life, particularly through our formation. All the aspects of our formation, their dedication to forming me as an apostle. I have a front row seat to miracles every day. I watch them every day. I see how God loves his people every day.
I am Sarah Tremonti, and I am one of the founders of You, Me, and NFP. We are going on to have our 7th baby, which by the time of the gala, she should be here. Regnum Christi, the Consecrated Women, and other families who have been part of Regnum Christi, I have to say was a critical part of making this ship move. And I say that because I think about the journeying with these couples and about how Regnum Christi, these legionaries, these consecrated women, and other families are in the mission to even be present for one. Their presence, having the priests come to our home, seeking spiritual direction, being with individual Regnum Christi families, there was always this heart of one person is worth it. One family is worth it. That is really the heart of their mission, to remind people that they are worth it.
For me, when I was a young mom with 3 kids under the age of 3, I had kind of just a spiritual meltdown. And my encounter team rallied around me to help me see, what does a spiritual life look like for a young mom? And that's where these retreats were born. Back in 2017, we started the first retreat for moms of young children. And the title was The Spiritual Life of a Young Mother. What does that look like?
I think I would just be lost in my faith, in my day-to-day routines without the support of Regnum Christi. I feel so grateful to be able to have my boys now beginning their own journey in ECYD and Conquest. And, you know, my oldest went on his first retreat, and my husband and I were just moved to tears, really, to see the joy that he had when he returned home, to share his experiences, to share how he viewed the priesthood as the coolest job. And it's really been so beautiful to see now through my kids what Regnum Christi is providing them as a foundation in their faith journey.
Legionary priest and consecrated woman, they have had just a huge impact in my life. Father Jaime Lorenzo, I've worked with for all my high school years, and through just all of the camps that I've led with him has completely grown me to be the man I am today in my leadership. All of the skills that are required of me as a missionary, he would slowly form me in leading teams and gospel reflection and public speaking. Basically, all of the skills I have today are in some way or another from a legionary or a consecrated woman.
Felipe and I have another beautiful ministry called La Buena Vida. It's in Spanish, the good life. And this was like about 8 months ago. I have my own YouTube channel that I talk about tips for women and to how to raise kids and how to have a better marriage. And Felipe had his own channel. And then I thought, let's do something together. And Felipe knows how to live life fully. He loves good wine and good food, and we love traveling. But we now understand that living all that, having God in the center, makes it even better. So I said, I think with 52 and 53 years, we have some experience to be able to share this with others.
I love Regnum Christi because it's such an international family that we all share the same charism that comes from an experience of Christ and then goes into such a beautiful apostolic zeal for mission and for bringing Christ to others. And to be able to share that same charism with other people around the world is such a bonding and such a powerful experience that really drives me into loving Regnum Christi even more.
As soon as I met this priest who had really taken a vow of poverty, chastity, and obedience and was living it, and I could see the evidence of this man, this dear man, and all the ones I've met since, so talented, so able, said, no, I'm gonna be like the first apostles. I'm gonna devote my life to serving Christ and help others find Christ and form families that are prepared to go forward and bring others to Christ. I'm totally amazed at what is offered to us through Regnum Christi and from the Legionaries and the Consecrated. And my wife is too. Lisa she pushed this to come to the Catholic Church, and she's been right there pushing me along the way. And I will say, as I learned, it was easy. And Lisa today is working in Regnum Christi and with the consecrated women, and just such an example for me, along with the priest and consecrated, to be a better man, to continue forming me. It's of great value, and I don't want to be without it.
When I was young, I really thought that apostolate was a job. You know, I had to get my to-do list in order and get all these things done for my apostolate. And as I grew older and I started to understand more about God and generosity to God, and I realized how generous He is with us. He doesn't expect us to be anything other than who we are. And so He's given each person a mission. He created you with this in mind. And the joy you feel in mission is not going to be felt anywhere else. But all He wants from you is for you to be you. So for me now, life is mission, mission is life.
I cannot imagine my life, or our family's life, without the consecrated women and the legionary priests. They have been there from the moment we joined. They have never left our side. Whether they have married our children, which they have, whether they preached retreats for my wife and I over the past 30 years, which every single one they have, leading ECYD retreats to all the consecrated women for our young kids, or the conquest camps and the challenge camps. They've done everything, giving us spiritual direction time and time again, every month for 30 years now. We can't get away from them. They're everywhere. They're ever present. They're omnipresent. And that's as we would want it. And this is a lifelong journey hand in hand, and we are ever so grateful.
And I think it's really challenging to hear God's voice in the world today because there's so much noise. There's so many things that are pulling our attention towards them. And they're things that don't necessarily lead us to happiness. You look at all the studies about social media, it just creates greater anxiety and depression. So we need to take more time to listen to God, to hear His voice. And in doing so, little by little, we experience more and more the joy that comes from loving, from serving, from having a missionary heart. One of the greatest discoveries for me in this whole process of becoming a legionary of Christ, a missionary for Christ, was that I wasn't alone. As a priest, you can only do so much. But when I met lay members of Regnum Christi, the consecrated women, the consecrated men, I discovered a whole family of people who were working together for this beautiful mission within the church. And this whole family of apostles, of missionaries, is so beautiful to be part of.
In the tapestry of Regnum Christi Atlanta, each thread represents a life touched, a heart transformed, and a community strengthened. Through the dedication and love of its members and friends, countless individuals have encountered Christ's love in profound and life-changing ways. This is the power of a missionary's heart, a heart that beats in unison with Christ's. Join us in our mission as we work to impact the world, one heart at a time.